sont deux et ils dessinent deux marques. Un nouveau label et une maison parisienne. Curaçao, République dominicaine, Anvers, Hyères, Paris. Une mode engagée, mais sans les slogans et les logos in your face. Une récréation poétique du monde réel. Ils sont très conceptuels, mais aussi très accessibles et jamais dogmatiques. Ils ont reçu le prix du Festival de Hyères des mains d'Eider Ackermann, le masculin chez Botter, le féminin chez Nina Ricci, Rouchemi Botter et Lissy Herebroek, sur mesure.
Bonjour Lissy, Rouchemi, how are you? Thank you for joining us out of lockdown.
Yes.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
You survived as a couple, I'm happy.
Yes, we did. Yeah, we did. No, it was confinement was interesting, you know, but we're happy to be quite normal, back up and working, and but it was a very interesting time for us.
Yeah? I'm sure you were working on this upcoming collection together while in lockdown.
Yes.
Is that a lot of Zoom meetings? How does one create a collection
Yeah, it was
in isolation?
Yeah, it was. I think the Zoom meetings were okay. It was not too much. We heard different stories from other people, but yeah, we definitely, you know, took the time and, you know, the two of us to work together and really kind of like, sometimes a bit isolated, you know, to really go back to what we're feeling, you know, without the rush of every day. And no, it was really a good time for us.
Were you the kind of people in lockdown to be wearing your PJs every day, or were you getting dressed?
I actually
Tell
was
me
the
everything.
type.
PJs a lot.
PJs
But she was dressing up, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I had to kind of like, sometimes I felt, you know, nervous or something, and then dressing up made me feel a bit like, okay, you know, let's get this day on, you know, what we're doing,
Exactly.
you know, are we doing nothing? Okay, I'm dressed anyway, you know, like this kind of vibe. But
That's interesting. I think a lot of people realize that you dress for yourself more than for others.
yeah, definitely. I mean, but it somehow, you know, sets my mind as well, you know, getting dressed, getting ready. I don't know, staying in PJs wouldn't, maybe it's a mindset, you know, wouldn't make me so proactive.
Yeah, for me, it was okay. You know, I was in PJs, just went to the shower, PJs again, you know, and getting my iPad, you know, sketchbooks. So, yeah, quite easy.
Yeah.
But she had to really make a mind shift, you know,
Yeah.
to start dressing up
Yeah.
for her to start the day.
Yeah, but if not, the days melt into themselves.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think. Yeah. What was the thing you missed the most while you were in lockdown?
We were lucky to, in time, run away to Holland, you know, to our family. And they live like in a village, you know, it's very near to the countryside. So you have a lot of like cows and, you know,
Oh, that's nice.
green, which is good. You know, it took us a bit away from the city. But at the same time, at one point I missed the busyness of the city. But then when we came back, it was so quiet. So I was like,
It
okay.
is different, isn't it?
Yeah.
So let's talk about your collection, your brand Butter. You were developing the new collection, I'm assuming,
Yes.
during this time.
Yeah.
Where did you draw your inspiration from? What are we going to see?
We both have Caribbean backgrounds. His family's from Curaçao, my family's from Dominican Republic. So we have this kind of like Caribbean culture always in our bodies, let's say, in our mind, you know, because we were brought up like that. And this is something that we cannot like switch off. So it's like an ongoing inspiration wherever we are, you know. So that's definitely also an inspiration for this collection. It will always be.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the collection itself?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great collection. You know, we look back at one of our key pieces, you know, the pieces that we love the most, combined them with fabrics that we love the most over the seasons, you know, and trying to tell like a new story with everything that we had laying around, you know, because of course we needed to be kind of creative with all the suppliers, factories being closed. And
it was also important for us to work, let's say, really within the studio. So we really closed our minds, let's say, and really start looking with what we already have, you know, instead of looking outside and, oh, we need this and we need that, you know. For us, it was important to really look well, you know. And it made it even richer for us, you know, to create. We're happy, huh?
yeah, definitely.
Because
can't
it's
wait to
honest,
see.
you know, let's say.
The label exists since 2016. What
Yeah.
have been some of the defining moments in your growth, in your careers?
Yeah. we were still studying, no?
Exciting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
year was an important one for
Yeah,
us.
definitely.
And graduating, of course, from
Yeah.
the Antwerp, Fashion Academy, because for me it was a big deal getting into that school and all the designers that have been there before us.
Yeah.
For us, it was a big deal. And then after that, winning here, was a really remarkable thing for us.
Yeah.
And then in 2018, the Nina Ricci adventure begins. How exciting.
Yeah.
How did you start the process of designing for somewhere that has such a strong history? Did you go through the archives? Tell
Yeah.
me about the process.
Yeah, we went through all the archive actually. First of all, we went to many, many books, and then we visited the place where all the archive is located, and we researched like every piece, like from different times, and it's very interesting, to look back, because for us, we always design in this kind of way that you cannot look to the future if you don't kind of know what happened before, because we also not the kind of designers that walk in and forget about all the past. I think that only makes a process more rich, you can only learn and then evolve.
Yeah,
And
we were also trained or schooled that way, You need to, your research needs to be really well to deliver something believable.
Yeah.
How would you describe the new Nina Ricci woman, the one that you would dress?
It's just a modern woman that wants to be beautiful, and feel good in the garments, and feel at home at what she's dressing, and feel expressed by the garments as well. I think every woman needs to feel like her personality is able to shine through, and that's what we try to create in our garments and collections.
Yeah, and it's dressing up, of course, but she also needs to bring her kids to school. She needs to
Yeah.
work. She needs to do a lot of things, So I think the modern women, that's for us the Nina Ricci woman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's more complex.
Yeah.
It seems to me that perhaps your work at Botta influences your work at Nina Ricci and vice versa.
Yeah.
I'm interested in how does the male versus the female sharing their kind of wardrobes, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is that how you see fashion, kind of the
Yeah.
direction you see it going in the future?
I mean, for sure. I think a lot of our woman silhouettes are sometimes based on men's patterns, like the proportions and those kind of things. So I definitely see the future is cross-dressing. I mean, I don't think anybody cares about, entering a store going to either men's or women's section, nobody cares. I think that's just modern,
I agree. I think it's interesting because I think the unisex model, I think, is still something that people try and put labels. It has
Yeah.
to be this.
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
women's
yeah.
wear. This is men's wear. And
Yeah.
actually,
Exactly.
it feels like things seem
Yeah.
for our generation much more fluid.
Yeah,
exactly.
definitely.
And even unisex is a label,
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me,
yes,
if I-
agreed. True. So you were living, was it in Antwerp before you moved to Paris?
Yes.
Yes.
In 2018, is that right?
Yeah, end
Yes.
of 2018.
What's it like moving into the fashion capital of the world? Does it feel like?
Yeah.
it's- do you feel the history?
Yeah,
Yeah, for
super
sure.
exciting. I
Of course.
remember when we were in the train, like everything went so fast that we didn't even have time to pack our stuff in our apartment in Antwerp. We had to.
People were packing it up for us,
Yeah, it was
family
crazy.
members, friends,
Wow.
And we were here still arranging everything.
We were lucky for that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's nice that you have each other, I
Yeah,
guess,
it's
because if
true.
you're making such a big change in such
Yeah.
a short period of
Yeah.
time, moving
Yeah.
to, I mean, it's not a strange city. I think Paris is
Yeah, it's a beautiful
always a good
city.
idea.
The thing is, this city is so beautiful, but at the same time, there's so much. I feel also pain in the city,
What do you mean, pain?
Now, for example, when we drove in Paris, you see a lot of refugees. Nobody has a place to sleep. These kind of things.
Yeah.
And
Like all the tents next to the. I mean, it's not only in Paris, of course. That's a problem. That's
It's
in
more the
more
case
places.
here than in London. You
Yeah,
don't see that in
exactly.
London.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
after a while, you attempt to walk past someone without seeing, even looking, because you
Yeah.
get used to it. And these are the things I don't want to, I don't want to get used to these kind of things,
Yeah.
No. Do you think that the cliches about the French are true?
What are the cliches?
That perhaps they're not always the most enthusiastic or polite?
Maybe it's also because I don't know. I feel like in the beginning
All
it
French
was.
people here.
It's the language also. The
What?
moment they feel like they need to speak English, there's this kind of fear, you know?
I think it's true, huh? The cliches, not about all the French people, but they are different. Most of them are different than the
Yeah.
people we know from Amsterdam or London or, you know?
Yeah, true.
They're a bit more reserved, let's
Yeah.
say. And,
Sometimes I think people confuse the fact that the French are actually more reserved
Yeah.
with being in a bad mood. I don't think
Yeah.
they're
Exactly.
always in a bad mood, but
No.
there is.
it's not a bad thing, you know, because I know some Dutch people who are also reserved.
Yeah.
And when they're open up, when you get to know them, they're really loyal and, you know, it's honest also. You can,
Yeah.
It's good. You could stay then. I'm joking. Do you think that the French have a real recognizable style when you see them in the street? Do you think there's a real difference here versus in other places?
I mean, yeah, I think so. I think every city has their recognizable style. You know, I see it when I go to Amsterdam, especially. But I think here in Paris, people have great style. You know, they really get away with minimal things. You know, they just have this great bag, a pair of jeans. You know, they have the right items in combination with basic things. You know, and that's what French women and men pull off really well.
Is there such thing in fashion as a fashion faux pas?
As a what?
A faux pas, something you would not ever do, something that's incredibly bad taste.
No. No, I don't think so.
if you mean in clothing, garments? I think if you wear it well.
Yeah.
You know, but I've seen some people wearing stuff that I'm like, but they wear it really well, you know, with confidence. For me, that's interesting.
So it's all in the attitude.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there anything that you wouldn't do in one of your collections?
Good one. Well, no, I don't know. I
Fur.
don't.
We don't use fur.
Fur.
Yeah, exactly. Good one. Fur.
Important.
No fur.
And what was your favorite thing to eat when you were on lockdown?
Pizza.
Your guilty pleasure?
Pizza.
I kind of got like really good at making my own udon soup.
You're not
Yeah.
that good of a cook.
Oh.
But you did this one well, right?
Yeah,
It's
you
true.
do.
No?
I can make some soup. Okay.
Thank you so much for chatting to me. And now that it's dinner time, maybe we should go and make some udon.
Yes, let's do it.
that.
Thank you
You're
for
always
having
welcome.
us.
Thank you. It was really
Thank
nice.
you.
Thank you.
Cool, guys.
What is your mood right now?
Happy.
Yeah, I want to say the same. But that sounded a bit like cliche, you know? Happy. But yeah, happy.
Define fashion.
Whoa.
Well, it's impossible. Impossible.
Create dream.
What is your greatest strength?
Being complimentary.
Exactly.
Oh, that's beautiful. And your greatest weakness?
Being nice.
That's a weakness.
Some
Can
people
be.
take it as a weakness.
What is the quality you appreciate the most in a friend?
Being
Honesty.
honest.
What is the quality you appreciate the most in a lover?
Yeah, loyalty.
Yeah.
Who criticizes who more?
You don't criticize. I mean, when you criticize, it doesn't feel because you always do it in a constructive way.
Yeah, it's true.
Maybe I criticize more.
Yeah, you can be harsh, but it's okay.
What would be your advice to young designers out there?
To go after your dream?
And nothing is impossible.
No,
I
really
mean-
not.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Nice.
Okay.